Hold on one second, just getting the camera ready. Hold on one second, just getting the camera ready. All right, check, 1 2 1 2. Extreme Fear at 22. Hold on 1 second, just getting the camera ready. Where did I have that playing? Hold on. Huh. I got it. Okay, cool. Welcome to the weekly screen share. 108,005 seems to be a key level for Bitcoin. Are we going to dump or pump? And it's been hard for me to tell. I could tell we were going to break down from that 118 all the way back. You know, look, you could tell we were going to dump. Now we've had the dump. Are we going lower? Or are we going to finally find a bottom? And I attempt to find bottoms, right? That's what I do. I pride myself on finding the last two bottoms. Can I do it again? We'll see. I mean, if you can, you end up making so much gains and you get to rip it back up. And if not, you miss out. So it's kind of crucial, but we'll see. Right now in Extreme Fear, which is not amazing for Bitcoin. And I have the chat up and running here. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you. So Extreme Fear is usually when I buy more Bitcoin. That's usually when the best prices are for Bitcoin. You usually never get to 20. It's very rare you get to 20. So it tells me that there's likely a bounce. Whenever the fear is that low, we get a bounce. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I don't know how we wouldn't bounce here. So again, who knows? But that's kind of what I see happening. So you can see I've still got my Bitcoin. I still got some Tether on the side. I got MXC token, SEI. I have not sold any of the altcoins. The only altcoin I did get rid of was Hyperliquid. I got rid of Hyperliquid. But I have my XCN, my ADA, my Beam, my Jasmine, my Gala, my NACA, my Rio, my ATH, right? My order. I even got into some Orderly. I got a little Orderly I'm starting to add to. Virtual, Fetch, Solana, and I have more Solana other places, right? Arkham, XRP, TAI, Tau, right? AI Tech, Ethereum, and Ondo, Near, Doge, SCI, and the list goes on. I have some Say other places. I have some Fetch other places. I got some Doge. It seems like it never ends, right? But I still have to hold all my altcoins for quote unquote altcoin season. And right now it is, I'm going to go to spot. And I like Giggle too. I just can't wait to swing Giggle at the right time. I keep watching it. It's in this nice flag. Giggle's still holding the flag. If Bitcoin ends up holding, Giggle's going to be an amazing play. It's the one I don't want to let that one get away. I'm focused on Giggle. And I feel like, the fear is just too high. I gotta buy some BTC. So I'll buy about $5,000 of Bitcoin. Put my money where my mouth is. Add to my stash. Was that fill? It didn't fill? 108,670. Come on now. You're right there. There we go. And there we go. I just bought $5,000 more of Bitcoin. Many people will never do that in their lifetime, right? So I consider that a blessing. And I don't do it to brag. I do show you that, like, I'm in the game. I'm not doing that panic sell stuff. I stick to what I'm doing. I stick to my conviction. So Bitcoin. So basically, all the altcoins are either at the worst bottom they've ever been yet again, which we've said so many times before. Like, this is it. One more chance. Like Caspa, you feel like it has to bounce here, like make an inverted head and shoulder and then start to break out. And it could bounce all the way from 4 or 5 cents to 25 and do a 5X, right? And that's a proper move for an altcoin, a nice 5X. That's kind of what we're looking for. Let's take a look at BTC. Remember, I made that long on the daily with the stop below the 200 moving average. It's still there. If you can believe it, it's been, it's not a big one. And maybe I add to it now after we waited all day. Right? As long as we don't lose that 200 moving average, it's and that's why I like to be biasly long, just stay overly long and just let the crash happen and then get back into reverses. I find it's been my thing. The bot is underwater, but waiting for the bounce back up. when we get to 120, it'll take massive profits. So that's a good sign. Looking at these BNB memes, I have a whole list of them, but you're looking at 4. You know, like he said, he did 4 months, right? He puts the 4 in his CZ. But look, I mean, that's a nice flag right there for this coin. And again, very small, high risk, high reward, right? I'm still not too full blown on being, overly speculative on altcoins right now. But BNB chain is hot, and the memes are hot, and they're getting shilled pretty much, like a lot too. So there's, you got to see where the attention's flowing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this could break out back to 30 cents, and it's sitting somewhere at 16. That's the first thing I would write down. Is 4, right? Another one that I see getting talked about a little bit is Palau. Pup, right? Pup could break out. Pup's actually up 30%, came back down though, 17. But you can see it's kind of rounding that bottom. Again, I'm not in any of these. I just want to make it clear. Yellow Pepe too, but it had a massive dump, so I don't know about Yellow Pepe. But look at this. I mean, look at how Giggle is staying consistent inside of a consolidation. And to me, that's just very bullish. I'd like to see that continue. And if it gets tighter and tighter, I'm just, I'm watching it for the alerts there. I just don't see how it can't turn into a beautiful swing trade. It even dropped from the 102 all the way back to 120 today. A nice 20% bounce. So we're seeing if we can call the bottom right here. The bigger trade will be right now with the stop loss below. You basically be front running the idea that tomorrow's candle will be green, and we have to get a bit of a bounce, right? So you can do isolated trades here. I was about to say, where is that? I was like, what's going on there? And so the idea is that it's the same idea, but that would be just get to 115. So I'd be taking a long, right? I'd say I want to get to 115, 235. And I'd want to put the stop loss preferably below the wick. Right there. It's a 268. I push that to 3. I'd have to get to what, like 116, 118? Possible. And then the stop loss would be below, what are you? 116 to 106 to 80. This number right there, 106 to 80. You see it? Right there. 1,600 for 4,000. Catch that bottom, right? I'd give 1,000 to catch the bottom. So I'll let that sit for a second, but it looks like it could be a move. A 118.5 got basically held 108.5 held. Let's do our top-down analysis before I do anything crazy. All right, so back to the weekly and the monthly. As we said before, the monthly stays above monthly support, which is 108,000. You see? We did go below it again today, but we're back above it. So as long as we can stay where these two candles close, like 108, I'm bullish. If we lose that, we go to 102.5. If we lose that, you're talking 94, 98,000, right? On the monthly. And then it's still intact that the monthly is in a rising wedge. And rising wedges break out parabolically if they can. And it would suggest that Bitcoin breaks out, but it doesn't break out for 1 or 2 months. Like December 1st, it starts to pump. And maybe it pumps like, a nice solid candle to 150, 160, which is a chance. And then the bigger idea is to 187 somewhere by the end of May, by May 1st. You see that? But so there's still a bullish sentiment for Bitcoin on the monthly. And for me, it's really all just about staying above 103,000 and then staying above where these two candles close. So you stay above 107.8, 108, and you stay above 103. I've got to remain bullish because you're above some key areas that matter. You see how that works, right? We look at the weekly just looks more bearish to me. Like, I almost have to say it's outside of the pattern. It fell outside. It has to get back inside. Then it got a bearish retest. There's a shoulder, head, right shoulder here. There's a neckline. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot. That's bearish. And that suggests you can drop to 87,000, right? But what that is doing too is creating a lot of macro bearishness. And you still got to look at the monthlies above support or resistance. So it really doesn't matter. The 3-day, same idea though. You're going to make another right, look, shoulder, head. Maybe you just make a right shoulder. You get the rejection. We come up to 118, get rejection and dump again. But it doesn't look good to me, right? It looks bearish. The daily is oversold and finally bouncing off possible 200 moving average, right? To me, I feel like it's still, it's still oversold. Try to put in this pattern. I say no. I say it has to get back inside that, right? And then look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. But again, it had all day to dump today, and you felt like there should have been a massive dump. There was liquidity all the way down there for Bookmap, screaming for 105 and 106. We never got it. I don't know how we didn't get there today. It looked like we were going to dump for 5 hours straight, and we went sideways. And now we're bouncing, possibly tweezer top bottoming off of the 200 MA on the daily. So that's my saving grace. If we stay above this yellow line, then I remain bullish. As crazy as that sounds. I became pretty like black or white at certain times when it came to my trading after years of trading. I learned that that's the best way to be, Otherwise, I'd always be confused. Like, I had to have a black, like, this is this and that is that. So, like, this is also a falling wedge that can break up. But you got to do, like, shoulder, head, right shoulder. You got to do something different. The 4 hour is starting to possibly it's oversold, and it's got some bullish divvy. Look, this swings up while this swings down. That's 4 hour bullish divergence. That's very strong bullish divergence. And then there's the 1 hour getting oversold, possibly attempting a bullish div too as well. That swings down while that swings up, bullish divergence. However, divergence is only as strong as the previous support that turned into resistance. So you bounce. So Bitcoin's got to get back above 110,267, right? Like, you got to get back above this area. So I wouldn't be bullish unless Bitcoin can break above there, make the head and shoulder, and do something fun. But again, it had this head and shoulder. It was supposed to dump. It kind of slowly did another head and shoulder and dump. And it did go down. It did go to 107,007. Like, we did get the dump as projected by the descending triangle, right? We got the dump. That's what was supposed to happen. But something is slowing it down slightly, right? You felt like we would have dumped a little worse. And then here we are watching this descending triangle that we were looking for a dump too. And somehow we've made a move out of it. Like, almost like I had a Bart Simpson. And the sad thing is now there's people that are still short. Like, to me, like, it still looks like it could roll over and dump short. And then it still looks like it could also bounce on that on the daily. It's almost like I have to pick a time frame that I'm more comfortable with and trade it. And so, like, for me, it's like I choose that daily. What I don't like is Bookmap. I have so much faith in Bookmap, and it's telling us we're going lower too. So I have a lot of mixed signals, right? I got the daily looks somewhat bullish. Actually, I don't have too many mixed signals. The daily looks somewhat bullish. Everything else looks kind of garbage, right? But we are oversold. And now we seem to be bouncing back to the upside. And then we look for my signals. Well, we just got to break above the 200 moving average. We're touching the 21. The 5 minute has to move up to the 200. So again, if we're bullish, this is going to flag out and we're going to shred the shorts tonight. The daily's going to turn into a tweezer bottom, and that was the bottom right now. The 107.7 was the exact bottom. Longing right now would be your bottom. So for me, there's just two good probability. And remember what I talked about longing beneath the 200 moving average? So I'll go 750 for 24 on this one. A little smaller. I'm not in love with the trade, but I like the odds. And I made another trade. You can see you can isolate them. That one's a bigger trade. Together, $40,000. Still not a huge trade, right? I'm not like going all in on the bottom here, because if this comes up and we start to get above moving averages, then I can start trading my other time frames and we can get free. So, I don't know what's going to happen, everybody. I wish I could tell you. what is. But, yeah, exactly. So this says that, you could likely get back up here to 115,123. Okay. And, I take my odds because I like trading against the 200. Again, over years and years of years, I've been treated better near the 200. Maybe you haven't. I don't know what you've gone through, right? So I don't know your trading style. My trading style rewards this behavior, so I'm going to take it. You see? Again, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. But that's looking more, that's when we get a bottom, we need the daily candle to close red next to a green one. We need that. So any bottom's going to have to show something like this at the beginning. We're going to have to get this somehow, some way, even just the beginning of it. So that's the beginning of a possible bottom for Bitcoin. But it looks pretty sketchy. So if tonight you're watching, you're looking for the 1 hour to flag, to pump, to get above the 5 minute, 200 moving average. And then, it says, I don't know how much, tomorrow into tonight. And in the morning, I don't know if we have enough juice to get above like the 15 minute or to get, if we're lucky, we'll be somewhere up at the 15 minute. So if we're bullish, we'll somehow be getting to the 15 minute, 200 moving average, I say, by the morning hours. And the 1 minute and the 5 minute will have gotten above the 200. If we're bearish, this will roll over again. It'll come back inside this trend line. And then we're going to dump somewhere back down to 104, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. I took a long, as I showed you again. Maybe I'm wrong. In the morning, I wake up and say, dang, I was wrong again. So we'll see, right? Okay. Let's go to the moon and beyond. Sometimes orders are support. I've seen it. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right, so I would watch this 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin tonight, and everything's going to kind of follow suit with that. Everything's going to follow BTC, right? It just is what it is. We look at token metrics. You can see the most trending coins right now are Pump, EDU, KGen, and Zcash. I really like Giggle. I have no money in Giggle right now, so it's not like I don't pump bags. I'm telling you, hey, this coin to me has the best TA, right? I just go over technical analysis. Yeah, Zcash to me just has to. It could be the bounce. Like that could be the bounce. It has been very bullish, but it doesn't have to be. It's not a have to moment. But that could bounce. Back up there or somewhere in this vicinity. And I wouldn't be surprised if it just continues up. It hits 560 the way it moved. I mean, it's on a tear. So someone said, anyone watched Linnea? Linnea's been getting a lot of buzz lately, right? But wow, what a dump, huh? No love. TVL just took a boom. Linnea seems, it's involved in DeFi. It's been getting connected to other projects too. I guess you got to wait for it to get back above that 200, make that higher low. But when Bitcoin got annihilated, a lot of altcoins got crushed too. And not every single one of them came back as strong. So maybe I called the bottom here. Maybe we get a bounce. I don't know. We'll see. I'll wake up in the morning and we'll have to face the music with what happened here, and we'll go from there, right? And sometimes the screen share doesn't have to be too long. It's really about what happened in the screen share. Like right now, we may have just longed the absolute bottom together on the weekly screen share. I have a moment to clear my mind and see what it is for sure. There's a chance. There's a chance. And so I also posted this. I think I posted this earlier today, but I posted again. OG fan token just still looks good with, football coming out and all that. Lazio fan token, Stargate, Fleek is crossing the radar. I've been seeing Fleek also getting some buzz somewhere else too, getting added to other exchanges. I usually post this to token metrics section in the trading group. So if things bounce, I mean, we see Fleet could bounce. MPRA, Mayflower too. Orbiter. There's always another one out there. Spectral. Everval, EVA. Rail Link. I like Avail. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but the Matic team went to Avail. Ever since I remember that, I'm like, Avail's going to get hot at one point because they were hot before, though that team will be hot again, you know, in my mind. And there's just actual stocks, too. Forta has been on and off throughout the time I've been trading. Lumi Wave. I gave you guys an update on Monad earlier in the group. Like it was somewhere. When was it? It was, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. Or yesterday, right? Monad is a layer 1 blockchain that redefines EVM compatibility with unprecedented performance, achieving 10,000 TPS, right? Sub-second block times and near zero gas fees while maintaining full Ethereum bytecode and RPC API support. As a redesign of Ethereum's consensus and execution layers, Monad addresses scalability bottlenecks without sacrificing decentralization. Backed by $240 million and $44 million in funding from top VCs like Paradigm and Dragonfly, with a thriving testnet ecosystem, over 240 projects, Monad positions itself as a high-throughput alternative DeFi, AI, and consumer app. So this thing could be big. The native token launches October 14th in the mainnet MON, right? So let's kind of take a look at that right now. Brand new coin on the radar. Monad. The airdrop claim is open until November 3rd. You need to claim to receive an airdrop. Here's how to do it. So you attach your wallets, right? And you see, I wasn't eligible for most of mine. So whatever I did, I didn't do enough or whatever, you know. But maybe you could use the testnet right now and find out. Speed without sacrifice. Welcome to Monad. 10,000 transactions per second. Pretty crazy. Anyway, this coin I believe will be hot. And right now I don't think you can snatch it yet. You can't get it yet. You can get ready for the airdrop and see if you're available for the airdrop, which could be pretty big. So they open airdrop for claims today. You can check that out. But pay attention. That's going to be a new thing coming out. So, hey, so far so good. We're getting a little bit of a bounce here for Bitcoin. I'm the king of 3%. Amazing, right? And then after sitting in that trade all day today, right? And that's what's just about doing nothing and having patience. You feel like you have to do something all the time, you go crazy. You know, today felt like that. It was like, but you just sit here on the bigger time. Whenever the small time frames get choppy, I zoom out and trade the 4-hour or the daily, and I just wait. And once the trend changes, I can get back to the smaller time frames again, and they won't bug you out, right? And look, and then here's the system supposed to play out just like this, doing what it's supposed to do. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, so I would focus on, like, literally, I like BNB. I like the BNB chain. And then newer coins, too, right? I threw something in, a couple, you figure out whatever makes you happy, too. But, and memes are high risk, as always. But, and I'm going to, and once Bitcoin, if we get this bounce for Bitcoin tomorrow, all coins are going to sigh, and then we're going to be able to trade them again. But there's definitely going to be a lull in a few days where you don't want to be too hard in alts. There's certain ones are going to bounce. Solana's going to bounce with it if we do get the bounce tonight. If everything goes well and we get this reversal, which it looks like we may, the daily looks like a reverse. The 1 hour is above. We're getting the signs of a possible reversal. We're finally above this resistance. All day we couldn't get above. Resistance. Finally kind of cracking through 108.5. So things don't look too bad. And congratulations to everyone that made it through, man. We did our screen share the day after that massive dump on Saturday morning. I love your content. Just joined the 99. Thank you for saying that. Can I look at virtual? Let's take a look at virtual for you. I still own virtual. I have a bag of it. It has a use case. It just, we had to wait for the actual market to come back. And then everything that had a real use case, in my humble opinion, will come back. Just has to take its time. Back at 76 cents. So again, this thing had a huge run up. I remember when we first talked about it, and then it did its thing huge. Then it started coming back down. Everyone said, oh, alt season. I was like, wasn't that alt season though? Like, we had an amazing, and again, people were kind of greedy. We had an amazing alt season. I mean, look at this. This one went October 24th all the way to December. I mean, 2 months, this thing went sky high, and now we just have to wait, right? It's like an alt bear market. But that is a cup and handle. We're just slowly slipping sideways, and just everyone's waiting for Bitcoin to come back, alt season, and then everything with a use case can pump. I could see this back to its all-time high. The only thing is, I don't know if they're going to get past that. Like, I think we get back to the all-time high, and that might be it. I don't know if coins are going to be able to surpass their all-time highs and just, like, go to crazy levels. Maybe we're on some super cycle, but right now I would just go to lucky to get back somewhere to $4 or $5 and jump on out, right? I bought 6K in XRP. There you go. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm calling the bottom here tonight on the screen share. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong, But there's some signs here that are finally kicking in that we could have bottomed. But who knows? There's no guarantees, right? But there's some signs that we may have bottomed. It's possible. So yeah, I could beat our dead horse and sit here all night and go over 1,000 things. But for me, yeah, it's just, and again, once the market picks back up, we'll spend a lot more time going on altcoins all night long, 2-3 hours. Like, I make the screen share a lot longer, but right now it's just really Bitcoin, and I was in the group all day long, like battling the charts, kind of going over what was happening. And it got really tight at one point. I'm long STO. I'm up 30%. Yeah, Sean is on point. Everyone that is my elite, I have handpicked out of thousands of people. Handpicked out of thousands and thousands of people, right? Funny, last time I looked at it there, and then it kind of went sideways. It definitely has low volume. You can see by the candles, so it's a little sketchy for me. I need a little bigger. But, I mean, that isn't a flag. You're seeing how it's above the 200, and it seems like over time it can play out. Chinese black alt market going bananas. You're funny, man. We had some alts 2 to 10x in the last couple weeks. We did. We had COAI that did unbelievable. Chain Opera. Like, still looks like it may continue. Right? It's like sitting sideways now. You never know, right? The way it's just hanging out. If that continues sideways and gets like really tight in there, that could do damage. But this thing had an amazing run. Boss had a run today, right? That was kind of out of control. Look at that thing. It went from 2 cents all the way up to 15 cents. Dolphin dipped and then ripped again. And who knows? I mean, you know what it is? With Bitcoin has me kind of sketched, and then it's like hard for me to jump into these and speculate. Like, I need to kind of wait for the market, but that thing could continue, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Wow, what a run it's on. There has been some things, and Giggle looks good to me. Like, if Bitcoin can bounce here, then Giggle gets the bounce, and then it's all like, oh, you were scared and you were scared, and we get to move back to the upside here. So it's all about positioning yourselves in fear. Like, I saw fear, I buy more Bitcoin, I long now, right? It's heavy fear, I buy Bitcoin and I long. And I like to long the 200 moving average on the daily. So, huge screen share. If you miss it, it's a shame, because this is a big one. I believe this is like one you definitely don't want to miss. And it's probably one a lot of people will miss just for whatever reasons. Billions and billions. I know, right? 90% of crypto never reach a new all-time high, their second bull run. 100%. I like that you said that because it puts things in perspective. Yeah. No, you were scared. You know, I don't know if I was scared, but I definitely go like, dang, it doesn't look good. You know, when things don't look good, they don't look good. And right now we're not out the water yet. You know, everyone's like rejoicing. It's recorded, right? This is on YouTube, so YouTube just kind of holds it, right? Yeah, so YouTube, you don't really have to record it. Yeah. It's live. Wow, this guy's smart. Spenda, you're on point, man. So, yeah, I want to swing giggle. I've made it very clear. And I'm looking for other opportunity in the market. I've given you a bunch of altcoins to research and look at. We'll be posting altcoins. I wouldn't go too hard tonight, obviously. There could be, if you want to be like a super legend and go crazy. But, I mean, to me, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as such. So just take it easy, one step at a time. Look, we're finally getting somewhere, up 10%. And we may have called the daily bottom here for tomorrow and see where we can pump. Stay above that 200 moving average, and everything can change now. At least get a green candle for the day, and we can go from there. Nice pump for Bitcoin, up to 189. Doing damage, right? So, yeah, that's what I see. New alt that insiders have info on will do multiple X's, but old ones just move in waves. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about ADA. No all-time high, not even close. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe like $2, right? The new cryptos are alt utility. Has never had a bull run will run. Exactly, I agree. Cryptos with utility that haven't run yet, they're going to run the hardest. Yeah, and they're still yet to come out. That's why we have to keep paying attention to the new coins that are dropping. And that's why we go over them a lot. Yeah. We got that low. Nothing escapes us. I believe I called. I believe I finally got it. Took me all day. But I believe I feel more comfortable now than ever that I'm on the low. Before I knew it wasn't every time we had a reversal. It just wasn't strong enough for me to believe it was going to happen. You know. We got the low. We got the low. Pros was above 109. Bitcoin. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Right? So there we go, man. And it's fun. If you were here, you would have gotten in right as we started the pump, too. Like, it's like crazy, right? It's like I got this special. Look at that flag. Just right as the flag started to do damage. And only time will tell. I don't know if I call the bottom for sure. So far, so good. We'll see what happens. But we've been getting rejected by the 200 moving average. We're about to approach the 5-minute. If we get rejected by that, that's going to be, and it looks like we'll hit it and come back and then make a flag. But again, we'll hit it, we'll get rejected, we'll come to the 21, we'll flag, we'll break above it, we'll pull the 21 above it, and then we'll make a flag somewhere here above the 200. The flag will come, the 21, and then that's when you know we've actually made a reversal. Wow, back at 109. We haven't seen 109 since the 16th, I'm saying, I'm just joking. It was today. But, we're back. It's been a while. Someone said, well, you look at PAX G, you think it will cool off yet? I mean, that thing is ripping. Yeah, it looks like it will cool off now. The 1 hour. I mean, look at it has a huge wick. Yeah, so it just has to flag out. I'd flag it out on the 8 hour, the 6 hour, something like that. 109,500, man. Bitcoin ripping. Doing damage. So I believe I called along. I helped you guys out. I'll keep you updated throughout the night. I'll post in about an hour. I'm going to take a shower. I had softball with my daughter too as well. So it's been a long day. But I love you. I appreciate you. Yeah, PAX-G is a bull run chart. Yeah, 100%. So, hey, I stayed long. I didn't get short. I'm looking for the reversal, and maybe I caught it. And that's kind of what I do. You know what I mean? If I was short all the time, I may not be able to catch the reversals. So I just go for one thing that I'm really good at recently, and I've been doing that. Yeah. And sorry to make this as a little shorter than normal, but next week we'll go hard. I just want to see Bitcoin get above some key areas. Let these altcoins really breathe and let us actually get a big pump here. Every time we're getting a pump, it's like we get to an all-time high and then we just get fried again. We have like a week or two of goodness and then it's back to 2 weeks of pain. A week of goodness, I'd like an actual reversal that really, really erupts, man, and shows us that we're on our way. It's like they don't want to give it to us because then it's like we're either on or we're not. And once we're on, it's going to be crazy. And like they just, so they can't let us know it's on yet. It's funny. It's like they got to toy with us constantly. Looks like a Sammy Cup and handy on the 5 minute. Yeah. Hey, let's see what happens, folks. There's no guarantees. We'll go from there. I love y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:30, and we'll do it again like we do every